All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the May edition of the DuPage ROSC Council. My name is Jared Bird, and I am your ROSC coordinator. If we could start by making sure everybody, please make sure your microphones are muted. Unless it is your time to speak, it helps us in cutting down on interruptions and things like that. It would be very, very helpful. If you don't mind, the folks who are on Zoom, if you want to put your name and contact info into the chat, it helps us to keep attendance, but it's also good for networking purposes. My in-person folks, I do have a sign-in sheet. We can make sure we send it around at some point. But however you're joining us today, we're glad to have you with us. As I've been doing lately, I like to start with like an icebreaker question. So it is Mental Health Awareness Month, obviously. We all know that. I would like to start off with some positivity, right? So I would love to know for some folks here today, what is something that you've accomplished in the past few years that you're proud of? So that could be personally, that could be professionally. It does not matter. I just want to hear something that you're proud of that you have done. So I'm gonna start off. And if people want to submit theirs, you can raise your little digital hand on the Zoom. You can put it in the chat. And my in-person folks, I've got a second Price is Right microphone I will send around if you want to do that. So actually, the thing that jumped off for me on something that I was proud of because I had a memory pop up on my Facebook recently, which was getting the Narcan vending machine into Glendale Heights. So that was back in 2023. If you've worked with me, I've probably talked your ear off about this thing. It was without a doubt the hardest thing I've had to do in like a really, really long time. The amount of things that I had to learn, right? So when you get into the field of substance use and mental health, you never think that you're going to have to learn about the logistics of motherboards inside of a vending machine. But we had to learn. We had to learn about like shipping. We had to learn about creating, visuals and decals. We had to, try to bring together multiple organizations to work on it, and we managed to do it. Can we please make sure everyone's muted? Thank you. Oh, Danny Sorbis is here with the fastest mute finger in the West, so we're glad to have him here. But yeah, that was like a insanely difficult thing. But however, it was also one of the most gratifying things we were able to do. And this type of I don't know, cliche or platitude gets thrown around a lot, which is as long as it could save one person. I think in this case, it's actually true. If somebody was able to get Narcan out of that machine, 24/7 access, free to access in DuPage. It was a pretty cool thing to be able to be a part of. Then there were some other weird things too. Like I had to learn how to write, better press releases. I had to learn how to stand in a press conference. That was weird. There was a bunch of cameras. I was very nervous, but it was a very gratifying thing. And so I was thinking positively, right? Like what is some stuff that maybe we're proud of having accomplished over the past few years? So I went first. If there's anybody online that wants to submit something, you can raise your little hand or you can come off mute. And if there's anybody here in person that wants to mention something, I can pass around the microphone. Or if you want to put it in the chat. Now, I know most of you accomplish a lot. So I don't want to see anybody not submitting anything. So whoever wants to go can go. We got a hand up. I'm going to pass around the mic. Our friend Alex from Family Shelter.
Hi, everyone. I think mine is journaling. So I wanted to do journaling for so long and I couldn't get it. And then like 3 years ago, something finally changed. I think it's because I let go of having any like structure to it. I was like, I'm just gonna write what I want. And then I started adding stickers and now I add pictures and like it's evolved so much. And now I've been journaling consistently for like 3 years. I also now have a travel journal and I have a dream journal. It's really cool. Like when you get to look back at yourself and you're like, wow, look how much I've changed. Or like you remember things like, your brain can't remember everything. So when you write it down and you can look back and you're like, wow, that was really awesome to do that. So I would highly recommend if you've been wanting to do it. Definitely.
Ask you a quick question, a follow-up question.
Yeah.
How does the dream journal work? Do you just write down things in the morning and then go back and look at them?
Yes. So for the dream journal, it's usually specific content. So like for instance, I lost my dad. And so when I have dreams about my dad, I wake up and I just write anything I can remember because I'm like, that's my new memories of him. And so I just write anything down that I can remember and then I can look back at it. And there's many times I've been like, oh no, I didn't remember that. So it's nice. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Anyone else want to submit something that they are proud of to have accomplished in the past few years, personally or professionally? Scott Kaufman.
I Perfect. So, I would say like very proud of a lot of things professionally. I think our kids being generally good people, like they get in fights and stuff like that, but it's not the only indicator of being a good person. But I think like specifically when they hold the door open or say thank you after someone else held the door open, it is very endearing to me, and it's sort of a nice check on the list of they're on the right path, and we just got to keep reinforcing that.
Thank you, Scott. And we're gonna actually bring Scott back up in just a few minutes to talk about something pretty exciting. Anybody else? Anybody else online want to say something they're proud of before we? But Ben Rudolph, maybe the most positive person I know. Go
Wow.
right ahead, Ben.
Put that on my business card. Um, well, before I did this kind of work, the technical assistance, I was a recovery coach for 5 years for the McLean County court system. And I guess what I'm proud of is, well, when I left that position, I started feeling like I wasn't making any kind of difference um, in this work. And over the past year, I've been contacted by many guys that I worked with who are in recovery, who have remained in recovery, who reached out for help. And so I guess I'm proud of these guys because they stuck with this thing. They stayed with it even after I thought like this just I'm not making a dent in these guys. They're surly and mean and they don't want to do anything. And I kept not fighting with them, but trying to work with these guys. And I don't know, man. There was a guy many years ago when I worked in residential treatment um, who said if he ever saw me out on the outside, he was going to hurt me. And I saw this guy over the last year, and he didn't hurt me. He hugged me. So I'm proud of him. He got married. He's got a job. He's going to school, and he's got a beautiful little kid sitting on his shoulders. So I'm proud of these guys for making that change in their life and really leaning into the idea that life is sweet and it's beautiful, and there's a reason and a purpose to everyone's life, man. So that's what I'm proud of.
That's beautiful. Ben Rudolph, everybody. Give a round of applause. Uh, I do like to point out every couple of months that if you did not know, Ben is a jazz musician and used to play at the Green Mill in Chicago. If you know what the Green Mill is, legendary jazz club. And Ben was there playing jazz music. When he first told me that, I was like mind blown. I think I probably asked you like a million questions after you told me that. So thank you, Ben. We appreciate it. So thank you to everybody who submitted things they were proud of. Happy to have you all here with us. Real quickly, before we get into some of the meat of today's meeting, is there anybody here for their very first DuPage ROSC meeting ever? Like you've never been here before? You're just here for the first time, just so we can quickly have you maybe introduce yourself. And if you're from an organization, which organization that is. So if you're online, if you want to come off mute, you can, or you can raise your little digital hand and we can make sure we get you introduced to the group.
Hi, my name is Pam Ford, and I am from Joliet, Illinois, and my nonprofit is New Day Employment Network, and we work with reentry. This is my first call. I'm actually at work, so I probably won't be able to stay on the whole call, but I'm sneaking. But I'm excited to be a part of the call today.
That's awesome. Hey, Pam, thank you for making it. We had a chance to, Danny and I talked with Pam last week about her organization doing work in the Will County area. So yeah, glad to support workforce development and folks in recovery finding meaningful work. I think that's a really, really important thing. So glad to have you with us. Anyone else here for the
Thank
first
you.
time? Going once, going twice.
Hey,
All right. Oh, there we are. Yes.
My team has been part of your meetings, but this is my first time, so I'm excited to talk to the group.
Glad to have you here, Ankur. Thank you. Lissette, Liz, can I call you Liz? Okay, Liz, do you want to say hi real quick before we get into some stuff?
Yeah, of course. Hi, my name is Liz. I am Director of Community Education at NAMI DuPage, and I'll be sharing a little of the resources that we have here a little later, I believe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Glad to have everybody here. If it's your first time or your 50th time, we're glad you're here with us today to do that. Just a real quick explainer for those of you who do not know what a ROSC is. We're really basically like a coordinated effort of people with lived experience, so people in recovery or those who have been touched by the recovery process or the addiction process, as well as organizations, programs that fall along the recovery continuum. We always try to find not only the strengths, but the gaps in services in our community, and then we try to work as a council to do advocacy work and find ways to kind of like fill those gaps so people aren't falling through them anymore in DuPage County. So long story short, we're attempting to kind of build a stronger system of care and recovery culture in DuPage, and hopefully we're doing that. So I want to share the screen. We'll go over the agenda and we'll get started here. Let me share real quick. Okay. So I'm going to have Danny pop on here in just a minute to kind of go over the Serenity House Cores update, which is the program that he's a coordinator for. Our friend Scott, who talked earlier, is going to pop on for a few minutes here, and we're going to talk about a very, very cool upcoming co-occurring awareness and stigma reduction campaign. So we're excited to share a couple of visuals and like what we're planning as far as the rollout of that. And then, yeah, we have Ankur, who said hello a couple minutes ago from Blue Kite Wellness, and Liz from NAMI DuPage. And then, of course, at the end, we try to leave time for organizational updates and anything we didn't get to. And neat and tidy, we'll have you out of here at 4 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the share for this part, and I'm going to scroll down. Next week, our DuPage ROSC presentation series, this again is separate from the ROSC Council meeting, which you're all at. We do this monthly on the third Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m. We really try to pick a topic or topics that are like timely, try to get ahead of the curve on certain things. Like, as you can see here, next week is nitazines and synthetic opioids. So something that's showing up more and more, not only in Chicago, but kind of filtering into DuPage now. So a lot of people aren't sure what nitazines are, or really aren't sure what synthetic opioids are and how to intervene, prevention, treatment. We're going to talk about all that next Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm going to stop this particular share and switch over to another one real quick, because there's a couple more things I want to promote before I get to Scott. So let's do this. I'm going to go over here. We have a bunch of online things for you to see. If you weren't aware, we have a pretty robust YouTube page that is going back now 3 years. So if you want to access any of our council meetings, any of our presentations, any of that, you can go to this YouTube page, youtube.com/@DuPage County ROSC, and you can access all of these. This is kind of fun. You can go back and be like, this is when Jarrett had no clue what he was doing. This is a completely different staff member that's no longer, yeah, so that it's a really like a good history lesson of the ROSC. Tom Farley, Chris Farley's brother, there's like a lot of cool stuff we've been able to do. So those are all up on YouTube. We also have a Facebook group, which is, I think we're pushing 200 people now, which is pretty cool, 197. I do email blasts, but I really try to be non-invasive with that. So our socials is sometimes the best way to kind of keep up with what's going on with our stuff. All of our flyers, all of our links are there. One other thing, if you were unaware, we built out this pretty cool DuPage ROSC asset map, which is actually a second component to the DuPage ROSC resource guide that we've been building out for a couple of years. I took a stab at creating this like when maybe like within a month or two after we started the ROSC, and it wasn't good. And then when Blake came on board, he like made it amazingly more user-friendly and searchable. So as you can see over here on the left, we've got like a bunch of different layers, right? So if I was to click like substance use disorder services, you're going to see about 68 different places here in Northern Illinois that will provide those types of services. So not only substance use, we've also got mental health services. We've got veteran services, DV trafficking shelters, sober living homes, 12-step meetings, SMART, all that type of stuff. And even better, it is searchable. So if you were looking for something like, let's say I live in Carroll Stream and I have Aetna insurance and I'm looking for something like that, you can actually search like Aetna And as you can see here, there's like 15 results of stuff that pops up immediately. So this has been really helpful because, as you probably know, insurance navigation is like the bane of my and probably your existence. So we're trying to find easier ways for y'all to be able to access some of those things. So this is actually on the Facebook page. So if you check out DuPage ROSC Facebook, you can find this asset map there. And then one last thing before I get to Scott, I promise, but I want to show that other component, which was the resource guide. Okay, here we go. I think a bunch of you have actually requested access to this, and we've sent it out to everybody who's asked. But when we started this organization, we realized that resource navigation was sometimes a headache for folks. I don't know the last time you've tried to Google like treatment near me. You can try it now as a fun test. About the first 8 or 9 or 10 examples will be paid advertisements who've done a little SEO finessing. So if you're a first timer trying to find services, it's really difficult. So we created this out. This is basically an Excel sheet. You can kind of see the amount of sectors we have up here. And then it's toggleable, if that's a word, on the bottom. So if I wanted to look at like inpatient treatment, here you go. This is not only in our area, but across Northern Illinois. We try to cover all insurances accepted, self-pay website, really tried to make this as user-friendly as possible. And we also offer the bilingual and other language options on the same pages. So if this is something that you would be interested in having, if you feel like it would be beneficial for you or your organization, just put it in the chat and we'll make sure we send a copy of this over to you. So with that out of the way, Scott, I'm going to go ahead and give you this microphone. Scott Kaufmann. Hang on one second. Yes. I got to make sure when both mics are on, I have it up close to my mouth like that. But Scott, I'm going to turn over to you. I'm going to share the screen. And when I share the screen, you're going to see a couple of individuals. And then Scott's going to maybe explain a little bit more about what these individuals are doing. So Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you and go right ahead.
Perfect. Thankfully, neither of the individuals shown are me, so very happy to share the very nearly end product of a process that you would not believe goes back. I mean, almost a year. We've been working on this at least in some form, but I work with our behavioral health collaborative that is open to the entire county. It's cross sector. So if you're interested in the BHC, I would love to be connected to you. Send Jarrett an email and he'll forward it to me. But part of the BHC, we have a subcommittee focused on co-occurring mental health and substance use disorder. And that group has worked on a few different projects. Looking at some screening tools that are used at mental health providers, screening for substance use and vice versa, and a few different projects. But one of those has been raising awareness and understanding of co-occurring to the general public. I think a lot of people don't understand A, what it means, B, how common it is, and C, that there is help available. So it's casting a wide net, and we aren't pretending to be everything to everyone, but the goal of the project has been getting information in front of people across that spectrum, reducing stigma among people that might have some questions about what does it mean to have mental health and substance use? What does it mean to be like if you're struggling with one, what does that mean with the other? And even if you did know, like I've been in substance use treatment for a very long time, I wouldn't know the first place to begin for mental health treatment. Like we set up a landing page that is unfortunately I have sent it to be published. I've submitted it, but it hasn't been fully approved. However, I think by the time this stuff will come out, like minutes or anything from this, I'll have a live link to share so you can peruse that. And then that link will be redirected by either of these ads that you're seeing. So we are very happy to have Annette and Blake from the ROSC here. They are people that have themselves lived experience with co-occurring mental health and substance use. And the idea is to showcase people that have been working on themselves in those aspects here in DuPage County, and that there is something that you can do to make improvements in those areas. So that is the subcommittee. I don't know if we have any questions, but yeah.
Hey Ben, since you're the person I can see on my screen closest to me, can you hear this okay with two of the mics on at the same time? Is this coming through okay? You can like nod or give me a thumbs up or something. Okay, cool. I see a nod. So for those of you who've been coming to ROSC for the past few years, you'll know that this is actually the second campaign we've done with the health department and with your community initiatives. Last time it was fentanyl awareness, in addition to stigma reduction. So we're thrilled to be able to take part in something like this. I think the impetus for a lot of this, right, was when we were having conversations in the BHS meetings about, you know, we feel like we're making really good headway on reducing stigma as it relates to substance use challenges in our county, but sometimes there's still that added stigma related to co-occurring. And I like to use myself as an example because I'm a person who lives with co-occurring mental health challenges. I have zero problems talking about my substance use past. I have zero problems talking about my recovery from it. I don't always feel 100% comfortable talking about my mental health diagnoses. And I know that doesn't make sense to be able to talk about one without the other, but there is still that stigma attached to mental health sometimes that makes it tricky for people to talk as openly about that as the substance use. So I don't know if that's something you want to expand on a little bit.
No, totally. And I mean, I'm sure Jarrett and a lot of people here can understand the opposite situation of someone that knows, you know, I've been struggling with depression for the last 10 years of my life, but not realizing that you might be using substances to cope with that. Like, having that realization is one thing that is very difficult, and then making efforts to address that it can be really hard to confront. You know, I'm working really hard on my mental health journey to also realize, like, treatment for substance use is a separate but really related, totally difficult thing to be doing. It's really difficult. So yeah, that stigma of you know, it's just people that might be in, that you might know through your recovery journey, may not be as supportive. Maybe that's not the right word, but it may not be as tuned into that mental health
Well, I
side.
think also there's enough stigmatizing language also attached to mental health that we really need to be doing. We meaning like the royal we as a community. You know, have that be more top of mind of like, how are we referring to mental health challenges? There's stuff we can start with language, and that's what we try to do in our organization, and hopefully through programs like this, you know, be able to kind of push that out a little bit. I did have one more question, and then if anybody here has a question, you can raise your little hand, or if somebody here in person. You also obviously do a lot of work with the Narcan program and other harm reduction stuff through the health department. Anything exciting on that end that's coming up this summer? Anything we should be on the lookout for?
So yeah, we are continuing to kind of in lockstep with ROSC, identify opportunities for more public access locations, like kind of looking for gaps in our map that we have of, you know, we have really solid representation in some areas, and some work to do in some others, and so that's definitely a focus. I can say that we are we have had our overdose fatality review team has been running for about a year and a half now. That's something that we can talk about at maybe a future meeting in super detail, but we're really proud to be adding members of the ROSC to that group, and adding some more representation of people with lived experience, and also kind of just as importantly, making headway on recommendations from learning from people's stories, and preventing future overdoses from that group.
Thing. And then what Scott was referring to with those like Narcan bits was together, actually, through the partnership we've been installing Narcan boxes and vending machines throughout DuPage. You know, in about a year and a half, I think we put in 12 Narcan boxes in the vending machine, which is pretty amazing. I feel like the dominoes are now falling where more organizations are looking for them. But you're right, now it's a strategic geographic thing of like, hey, there's like Narcan deserts in our county. And then, but also expanding. test strips, not just Narcan. Like harm reduction, that's a good foot in the door with Narcan, but it's really about the pragmatism of making sure people aren't harming themselves when they are still using.
And I think that the focus on Narcan has been a really good one, and one that we're really proud of, because Narcan is obviously a super helpful antidote for opioid overdoses. But helping on non-opioid overdoses, helping people that don't traditionally use opioids and maybe more specifically amphetamines, other stimulants, stuff like that. That is a focus for the Narcan program, the health department, and that whole group. Like we know that there needs to be more done in that area for non-opioid users, and know that that is kind of something we're really paying closer attention to now than ever. Last bit, I don't know exactly when, but we expect to have within the next couple months data on 2024 overdose deaths. And when we have that, we will share it, because that's something that we want to, not just what is the total number of overdose deaths, but among which communities, where are we seeing decreases, where are we seeing increases, because we want to be able to allocate our attention to places of the highest need. So.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Anybody who has questions, I just want to be cognizant of time for our other guests, but if anybody has questions about the upcoming campaign, be on the lookout for these two superstars of recovery and mental health, Annette Villarreal and Blake Warman. So thank you again, Scott. We appreciate it. Let me stop my share, because I do want to get to our first guest of the day. So I think it was like, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. Now, Serenity House is the lead agency for the DuPage ROSC. I used to work at Serenity House, like here on campus, and then about a year ago, we kind of outgrew the space we had and moved over to the Addison Township building. So I'm not around Serenity proper as much as I would like to be sometimes, but I started hearing this name Blue Kite, and I was like, oh, interesting. Like, I'm not super aware of them. And then I would hear all these great stories of like, oh my God, they've been able to help our people really quickly. There was not a whole lot of like turnaround time. Like, everything sounded really cool. And I was like, amen, because we have needed like a partnership like that with Serenity House to provide those types of services. And they're a wonderful local organization. And so we're really, really glad to have with us Ankur Singhal, who is the managing partner over at Blue Kite. And Ankur, thank you again for making the time for us today to kind of go over some of these services. I'm going to go ahead and let you share if you've got a couple of slides or anything. And then at the end, if anybody has any questions about services, how to access, we'll kind of leave some time there at the end. So Ankur, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Can you guys see my screen? Perfect. Is this in the middle? Let me see if I can put this down.
Yeah, we can see it pretty perfectly over here.
Okay. So this Zoom Viv link is not in the middle, right?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Jared, and thank you, everybody here who's connected with DuPage ROSC. We've had actually a partnership with Serenity House for some time now. We've been collaborating for quite a bit. I believe last 9 months roughly. We kind of fell into mental health space from our own journeys. Me and a couple of my buddies, few years ago, about 5 years ago, we lost a friend to addiction. So we were a mess. Obviously, that led to changing our own lives, going through our own journey. And during a lot of conversations, while through our journey, we kind of came together that we need to do something in this space, having no idea about. I'm an engineer by background. We have a lot of medical expertise in Dr. Pandya. He's a neurosurgeon. So he went through his own journey, right? He's been treating clients for all his life. But when he went through this process, it was life-changing for him. So we joined hands. We said, we're gonna go down the path of creating a resource within where we live. We all live in Glen Ellen and Wheaton community, in DuPage. So that kind of began our journey. Let me see if I can move the slide. So I have just 3 slides. So our mission was, how we can provide. Hang on, guys. how we can provide better education. We can provide more resources and support from actually what we learned. We had a huge toolkit of resources that we collected. And second thing that we were kind of looking at, how we create a holistic space. One of the things me and again a couple of my friends who initiated this Blue Kite Wellness, we kind of delved into a lot of holistic therapies, yoga, meditation, along with traditional therapies, right? So we wanted to kind of bring all those elements into one space. So this led to Blue Kite Wellness. When we write down our key two goals, one was accessibility. So we found out there's a huge wait list for people who are on Medicaid, and then and people who have no insurance. There was literally very less resources, people who have no insurance. And then again, second is the holistic mental piece, because yoga, meditation, a lot of these alternate therapies are not covered by insurance. So there is a lack of, it's financially a little bit challenging to provide those resources. So we were trying to figure out how we can provide that within our mental health space, because that really helped all of us, through our journeys. So we, after we began, actually, 6-7 months after we began, we came across HFS, and they told us, there's a program called Behavioral Health Clinic that provides funding to see Medicaid clients. So we went through that process. We're a community certified behavioral health clinic, and that allows us to accept Medicaid and Medicare clients along with private insurance. So if we look at what we offer, we have outpatient, in-person and virtual therapy. We specialize in men's mental health, and then we have other services which are available. That's how we work with quite a bit of folks from Serenity House. So we have a couple of therapists who specialize in men's mental health. And then we also do domestic abuse and addiction as well. So along with that, anxiety, depression, we have multiple therapists who specializes in a number of different areas. And then we also just started doing about 6 months ago art therapy. So we hired an art therapist. That kind of ties into the next piece, which is Pathways to Success program. That's our second thing that we do. It's a kind of becoming, a lot of our focus is going into that. It's a very interesting program for kids under 21 who have complex behavioral health needs. We actually, Liz, I don't know if you work with Wendy Moncada. We work with Wendy's team at DuPage County. It's a collaboration between DuPage County Health Department and us to administer that program, Pathways to Success. So it's a home-based program. There's a full team, a wraparound care. Full team goes into the children's home, help the parents. There's mentoring. So very, very interesting. It kind of fits into our vision, and what we kind of set out to do is a holistic and a comprehensive mental health model. Third piece is psychiatry. This is something we had to add because, from a compliance standpoint, we saw a lot of our counseling clients who were not taking their medications on time. So this was a need. It's very hard to find a nurse practitioner. We have someone who comes in every Saturday, just to make sure the medication management is there, because that's important for better outcomes. And then the last piece, like we discussed, holistic. So we do provide a number of things, and we're adding to that, right? So we do all of this is complementary for our clients, even someone from outside, right? We provide nutrition guidance, evaluations. We provide yoga sessions, and these are group-based sessions, free of cost. We do art therapy every third Thursday. You guys are welcome to join. We have supplies. We have a certified art therapist at Blue Kite Wellness. It's amazing, nice music, art supplies. You're doing art with other kids. Come there. And then we have a meditation room. Again, we encourage our clients to use that after the session to reflect. So it's kind of trying to create a space, a healing space that we like to go ourselves, and then we hear good things from our clients like to use some of these services as well. This is all I have. I just wanted to share our story. We are located in Wheaton. Stop by sometime if you know a client who's in need. You can go on our website, and then there's contact us button. It's a small form you can fill up, and we try to get back to everybody within 24 hours. And one of the things, Jared, like you mentioned, we like to have no wait list. Even if there is, we keep on recruiting, so we have a pretty robust recruiting team. So like to provide those services, as much as we can. So yeah, we're right behind Dinata Square. So we would love to have anybody swing by. Give me a call right now. This is my cell phone number on there. We'd love to connect with more of you.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, thank you, Ankur. If anybody has any questions, we got a couple more minutes. If you are on the digital side and you got a question, you can raise your hand, or if somebody hears, I had a question for sure. Like, I really appreciate the holistic approach, because it's not a one size fits all proposition, like recovery from, mental health and substance use or whatever it is that, you're appearing for. So it's cool to see that. What is like, what kind of trends are you seeing? Are people asking for more of like the mindfulness meditation path? Like, what do you see as like kind of the most popular things people are looking for over there?
So Jared, I will tell you, it's been a struggle because I think traditionally people don't connect with the evidence-based, alternate therapies, right? Like traditional therapy is really good. And I'll be honest, when we began like meditation, right, we had open hours and all that, nobody showed up, right? So it took a lot of education, like educating our counselors, and then sharing materials on like there's a lot of evidence around that. So it's increasing. I wouldn't say it's the adoption is where we like it to be, but we're seeing more and more people show up on these alternate therapies. And I don't know if it's like it's not really talked about. There are a lot of studies out there, but it's not talked about. And we're kind of internally we're seeing how do we kind of present those studies on maybe on our social media. How do we go? So there's a lot of education piece that people need to know. So like our yoga therapist, right? She talks about if your body has trauma, you can work on your brain, but your body needs to release that tension. And yoga is one of the ways to do that. Exercise is another, right? I mean, there are multiple, so there are a lot of studies around it. So I think education is going to be a big piece to make sure there's more adoption.
Excellent. Anybody else have a question for Ankur or Blue Kite? Just got a comment from Sarah in the chat saying, I love a holistic approach as well. Yeah, so if anybody wants to contact them, like Ankur said, that's his direct contact. And take a screenshot of that. I can also share that contact info afterwards if anybody needs it. I'm gonna come and take you up on that art therapy thing. I'm not any good, but I may come over and try my hand at it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
all right.
It's 7 to 9 every third Thursday of the month.
Excellent. All right, Ankur, thank you again. And hey, thank you for the continued partnership with Serenity House as well. I know it's done a lot of good for the clients here, so I'm glad to have. And again, especially with being able to take some of the more, I guess, lack of a better term, underinsured or state covered people, because sometimes the people who need healing through processes like this the most can sometimes not afford some of these things. So it's really, really cool that you're able to provide that for people. So thank you for that. And yeah, Blue Kite right over there behind Donata. Go check them out.
All right.
All right. Thank you. So our next guest is actually Liz Duarte from NAMI DuPage. NAMI obviously is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI DuPage really needs no introduction in our area. Like they handle so many different types of services for mental health. I mean, there's probably too many for me to list here, and that's what I'm going to have her do is talk about some of them. So right over here in Wheaton, you may know where they're at, right next to where they're putting in that increased size capacity crisis center, which is coming in soon. Pretty exciting. So Liz, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today and kind of talk about NAMI services. And I'm going to stop rambling and let you take over for a few.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can. It's still kind of in the
Okay, let me see.
There we go. Yeah,
There you go.
perfect.
Didn't start at the beginning. Okay. So NAMI DuPage, as mentioned, stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are in Whedon. Our building is under construction currently. And so let's see, this is what our building looks like. It's just getting an addition added to it. But a little bit about NAMI. We are a non-for-profit organization. We are peer-led, and when I say peer-led, that means that everyone that walks in through our doors, volunteers, interns, works, has a connection with mental health, whether it's individual or family. And we really strive to kind of keep it this way, just so that when people come to our support groups, or anything like that, they can really connect with anyone, whether it's on the family side or an individual. And it's been, we've really seen a difference on how people feel welcomed, feel like they belong somewhere when they can make that connection with other folks. So that is why we are, we really strive to continue being that peer-led. We currently are, there's about 600 NAMI affiliates nationwide. I am very proud to say that we are the second biggest one in Illinois. The way that we are operating, we are really going out. Back maybe 3-4 years ago, we were in our office waiting for people to come to us, and we shortly realized that, hey, some people, especially people with mental health, it's not easy for them to come out and look for help or go to places and get help. So this is why we're really trying to change the way that we give and people could seek our resources. We're going to where people need us. So this is why we're doing a lot more presentations. We're going out to libraries, schools, hospitals, and all sorts of things. And before I forget, we are the NAMI DuPage Foundation, but you don't have to. Our rule of thumb is that we can't go outside of DuPage to give resources out. But you can be from anywhere in the world and access the resources. So you can live in Kane, Cook, wherever it is. You can live out of state. You can live anywhere, and you're welcome to use our resources. A lot of the resources that we have are online for that purpose. So we just can't go outside of DuPage, but anyone can access our resources. And let's see, we have about 18 staff and about 140 regular volunteers at our current place right now. And a lot of the services that we offer are free or low cost. And so let's see. NAMI's DuPage mission is to provide support, advocacy, and education in order to improve the quality of life of individuals with mental illness and their families. And that's something that I really want to touch on, is that that's another thing that makes this a little different from other places, is that we also offer support for family members. Whereas a lot of people focus just on an individual. At NAMI, we understand that it's not just a you, it's a we are together as a unit. And so we understand that we need the individual to be able to get back on the feet and give them support, but it's also as important to be able to help the family member. I myself am a family member that has had family members that have had mental health, and so I'm a big advocate for family members. I'm Latina, so growing up in my household, we never talked about mental health. We were in the mindset that if we don't talk about it, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, mental health does not discriminate, and so it can happen to anyone at any age, at any point in life. So this is why I love NAMI so much, is because it doesn't just focus on an individual, but it also focuses on a family member as well. And I know I talk super fast, so if you need me to slow down and repeat anything, please let me know.
You're doing a great job. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Thank
You're
you.
great.
So some of the support groups that we have here at NAMI, we have individual support group. We call it Connections, and that is every Wednesday from 7 to 8:30. During that same time, we have a family support group. Same time, 7:30 to 8:30, and we do this with a purpose. Like I was saying, at NAMI, we understand that it's a we and not a you. So we do this with the intentions that a family member can come with their loved one, and then they can break up and each go to the group, and then come together at the end of the group and leave together. We have so many people, so many parents, friends, family that come together, and then they each go to their support group. I started with NAMI about 2 years ago, and when I started, each group was just one group And now it's expanded and it's grown so much that each group is typically about three groups. So we have 3 for the family and 3 for the individuals. We always joke about this, is that we're actually running out of space of where we continue having these support groups. It's, you know, we love that we have all these people, but we're also want to keep these groups at a good size so that people can feel, you know, comfortable sharing and it's not overwhelming, you know, and try to keep them about 15 to 20 people. And already I feel like that may be a lot for a support group. So, you know, we're always trying to look for new places we can go to maybe, or different ways that we can cater to this problem we're having. That is a support groups. It's completely free. You don't have to sign up or anything. So if you're ever in the area and you want to attend one of these support groups, please by all means stop by and check it out and see if it's something that you're interested in. We also do have a parent roundtable. This meets every 4th Thursday of the month from 7 to 8:30, and this is for any parents of young teens that may be navigating mental health for the first time. This is just a safe place where parents can come and learn about mental health. Have a place where they can ask questions, have family or have parents in the same position in life where they are, because it could be scary, you know, as a parent. It could be scary navigating on how to help your young youth in coping with mental health. And so we try to provide a safe place. This group is led by a mother and a daughter who have experienced mental health. My daughter is open to answering any questions the parents may have, as well as the mother, how they navigated their journey and stuff. So I think the parents really enjoy that because they get both perspective, the mother and the daughters, on different situations, point of views and stuff like that. But they also do bring some education to the table. So they talk about different things, such as, you know, language, ways to help the loved one, ways that they can talk to schools about mental health and different programs their kids can be in. So that is something that we offer. It's completely free. And again, you know, it's just, we do it. So then we have a teen support group that meets every Thursday from 7 to 8. And this one is every Thursday, whereas the parent one is every 4th Thursday of the month. And this teen one is for teens that are navigating mental health. And this is nice just because it's a safe place where teens can come and open up. Whereas maybe, you know, with their parents, cousins, neighbors, or school friends, they don't really want to talk about their emotions and feelings. Whereas in this group, it's all around DuPage. So it's different kids that are coming, and it's people that they may not know, but they are peers because they are navigating mental health. It's successful. We know we have a lot of teens that continue coming week after week and just really emphasize that they enjoy. This is the only group that we do offer a licensed clinician. Other than that, it's all peer-led. And we have a suicide loss group that meets every 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. And then we have a dual diagnosis support group. So that's for anybody that has substance abuse and mental health. That one meets every 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month from 7 to 8:30. And then we have a LGBTQ plus support group for anybody in that community that meets every 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month via Zoom. And this one is not all the other groups that I mentioned are here at our facility, but the LGBTQ plus one is in Warrenville. Let's see. And then our peer services, we have something that we call peer support. And that the best way I like to describe that is as seeking your therapist or counselor. Difference here is that we're quote unquote not professionals, but we can offer you that support that you may be looking for, that support that maybe your therapist or psychiatrist, counselor may not be able to give you, or that connection that you may not have with them. We're never competing. We are always recommending everybody to keep their therapist, psychiatrist, counselors, or whoever it is that you're seeing. We just want to give you the full support of, the full circle of support, I should say. Because what we do here is we connect you with someone that has lived experience similar to yours. For example, a while back, I had this young gentleman call, and he was going through a divorce, was going to be navigating and being a single parent for the first time, and just the whole court stuff. And he was overwhelmed, and so I was able to connect him with someone on our team that was going through the same as him. So when they met during their sessions, they can talk about how overwhelming it is to navigate, something new with your children, the court, a new lifestyle and all that. When they came to those sessions, they can really connect, and he felt very heard, very understood, very everything. Whereas maybe when he was seeking his therapist, he was saying these things and he didn't feel that connection. So these are the type of connections that, you may be able to make in these sessions. We do offer this, in 3 different ways. We offer them over Zoom, over Zoom, phone, or in person. And this is the only service that we do charge for. The first appointment is going to be $30. Anything after that's going to be $15. But because we're a nonprofit and we don't work with insurance, there is an application you can fill out, and it reduces the price down to the first appointment being $3, and anything after that's going to be $1.50. And unfortunately, the reason why we had to put a price to this is because a lot of our peers are interns or volunteers, and people were making appointments and not showing up. And so we quickly learned that if you put a price to it, people are going to show up. So, even if it's $1.50, people are going to show up to that appointment because, they are paying for that. So if you're interested, I'll be more than happy to send more information. I'll share my contact information at the end. And then another really great resource that we have is something called the living room. It is an alternative to the emergency room. So if you yourself or anyone that may be experiencing anything, they may be going into crisis, feel free to check out the living room. Hopefully we can help you and prevent you from going to the emergency room. But I do want to say that there is nothing wrong with going to the emergency room. Sometimes people need that. But oftentimes why people continue going to the hospital or keep going to the ER is because that's the only thing they know. So we want you to know that there's other resources other than just going to the emergency room. It is a cozy place. It's basically what you think of when you think of a living room. We have couches, we offer snacks, water, and we try to make it as cozy as possible. And what it is that we have a peer that's trained, and hopefully, when you come, they can help you de-escalate your emotions and hopefully clear your mind and prevent you from going to the emergency room. Oftentimes, why a person goes into crisis and has to go to the emergency room is because they have all these emotions bottled up. And so just talking really does the magic and really, takes the pressure and, really helps you clear your mind. And so that is what the living room is for. I also do want to share that if you do come to a living room and within, say, 25 or 30 minutes, we see that we're not de-escalating your emotions, we're going to call our backup. Our backup is the crisis center. We share buildings with the health department, and the crisis is here with us. So they, will come and hopefully they'll come down and try to help you de-escalate your emotions. But if they see that they're not, then they can take you to their back portion of the building. And depending on each case, you may have to stay for 24, 72 hours. Really just depends on case per case. But I always just like to share this because I don't want you guys to come and then end up having to go to the crisis center and saying, hey, Liz never told me this was a setup. So I'm just letting you know that they may happen. It's not, it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. So I just always like to tell people that. It's completely free, and our living room is only open Monday through Friday from 2 to 8. But I do know that LaGrange and Juliet have a living room that's open 24 hours. So if you happen to need the living room and it's not between those days or hours, feel free to go to either LaGrange or Juliet, whichever one's closer to you. And like I said earlier, all NAMIs operate the same. Even if you're not from that county, you can still access the resources. And so, as mentioned before, our building is under construction, and that's because the health department has seen such a great success of our living room that they have mocked the living room into a bigger one, and they're creating something called the CRC, Crisis Recovery Center, and it's basically the living room but bigger, and theirs is going to be open 24/7 and you can stay overnight. But that's not going to open till August. So, from now to then, if you need a living room and ours is not open, feel free to go to LaGrange or Juliet, and you can just type living room LaGrange and hopefully the address comes up. Let's see. And so some community education that we have, we do offer.
Hey Liz, just real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh.
We're maybe coming a little short on time. We got about like 5 minutes left. So if there's anything you got in the next couple of minutes, I do want to leave a couple minutes at the end just in case. And I'm sorry to rush you through this. I apologize for that.
No, it's totally fine. Let's see. So we do, I will wrap up after this. Social and recreation, we have yoga and meditation every Monday from 10:30 to 11:30, and then we have it in the PM, 7 to 8:30. Card making, craft, in-person bingo, art class, and you can see the times there. And let's see, volunteers. If you're ever interested in volunteering, we're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for volunteers to help us facilitate the support groups. We're always looking for people at our front desk or anybody that would like to work in the office, helping input data or help us run those recreational groups that I mentioned. And the print shop. We have a print shop that you are more than welcome to volunteer. And then let's see. I did want to mention that I don't have on here is that we are going to have an open house May 30th. If anybody wants to attend, you're more than welcome to. Or if you're interested in possibly having a booth or a table, it's open to the community. So I'll put the Google form for you to fill out if you are interested in having a table at our open house in the chat for anybody that's interested. And that wraps up my
Liz, that was so awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
And I
you.
always feel bad whenever I have to tell people we're coming up on time because
Yeah.
both of you did such a great job in presenting. So thank you again. Liz from NAMI DuPage and Ankur from Blue Kite Wellness. Everyone give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you again. And yes, I'm sure you will probably have many people reaching out to have a table at the open house. So I think I saw
Yeah,
people get their phones out here. So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the link's there in the chat. And then for my in-person folks, I'll make sure that you get that link as well. So thank you to the both of you. We got about 3 minutes left. I promised Danny I was going to try to get to him. Danny, I'm sorry, I can't. But because I always want to leave like a couple minutes in case there are any organizational updates or like program notes that anyone here, either in person or on Zoom, would like to promote. If you do, I have got Alex coming back down. You're the next contestant.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex from Family Shelter Service of Metropolitan Family Services. We're the domestic violence agency here in DuPage. And because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, we have a Foundations of Domestic Violence for Mental Health Professionals training that we'll be offering next week. It is totally free, and it's going to hopefully support those who support those with mental health challenges and who may also be experiencing domestic violence. So like I said, it's free, and we offer CEUs for free for LCSW, LMFT, LCPC, LPC, CDVP, all the letters, not all of them, but a lot of them. So yeah, seriously. Yes. So my teammate Erica dropped the flyer in the chat. Feel free to look at that, register, and join us next week. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Anybody else have something they would like to promote? If you do, you can come off mute or raise your digital hand. While I'm waiting, I wanted to announce something real quick. This is not like a full-on official announcement, but we are taking the DuPage ROSC on the road, in-person portions of our meetings, starting next month through the end of the year. So those of you who traditionally come here to Serenity House, it's going to be on a rotating basis of sites. Everybody from, let's see, College of DuPage, Gateway Foundation, Banyan Treatment Centers, Central DuPage Hospital, and so many more. If your organization would like to host us, like host the in-person portion of our ROSC meeting, let me know, because I think I'm booked out kind of like through the fall, but I'm the old radio producer in me likes to book early and often. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. If your organization would host us, that would be fantastic. So that'll be next month. Again, look for an official announcement on that of where we're going to be, because it won't be here at Serenity House. So we're looking forward to having people out for that. It is 4 o'clock. I do want to be cognizant of people's times. Again, I wanted to say thanks to everybody. Thanks again to Ankur and to Liz for presenting for us, but also thank you to everybody who comes back month after month to engage with our council, engage with the programs and the initiatives we do. We got a lot of really cool stuff planned for like the next year and hopefully the foreseeable future. So thank you for being a part of this. We wouldn't be able to make this run without you. So thank you again for coming back. I might hang on here for a minute afterwards if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, thank y'all. Look out for the recording going up probably tomorrow morning, and we'll see you next month sometime. So everybody have a wonderful day.